We have to talk. LSS, what's up with this? The Aurora Armory deck came out on Friday, and I have to ask, why are you going backwards? We all know that the Armory decks never had much in them. In fact, this one's empty, but the deck's here, don't worry. You open the box, you pull your deck out, and that's it. You have a deck, and that's it. But there were improvements. The Armory deck Dash included mini Steam counters, a way to keep track of Steam tokens. The Armory deck Jarl, while an Origin deck, was a bit more expensive, but it also included armor counters, a way to keep track of armor. So why, in 2025, after 1 year of Armory decks, 1 year of testing, 1 year of hearing feedback from the community, have you gone backwards? This is the Aurora deck, and, well, there is literally nothing new in this deck. We have the hero, the weapon, the armor, which is new, admittedly, and that's it. No new tokens, no new mini tokens, just two embodiments of lightning tokens, and of course the full art of the hero, which looks a bit different this time, but I could be wrong. In a deck that has Battle Worn. Now, mind you, it's one piece of equipment, but it does have Battle Worn and no way of keeping track of it. So LSS, why? Is it too expensive for you to include a few more pieces of cardboard to keep track of this stuff? Or are we asking too much? Let us know, why are you going backwards? And we're not asking for a lot either. I guess let's start with this. Who am I? I'm a nobody. I'm just a guy who buys Flesh and Blood products and plays the game. I'm not a competitive player. I might try, but I'm not right now. And I'm not a famous YouTube celebrity. I'm just a guy who loves playing Flesh and Blood, aka your target audience. Target customer. There we go. Do you think the high-level players are the ones buying your products? Sure, they might buy a few every now and then, but most of what they're buying, singles. The people buying the people buying stuff off the shelf are people like me. Normal players who go to their armories when they can, maybe go to events when they're allowed to, but mostly just play the game for fun. And I don't know how you're going to onboard people into this game when all you're giving them is the bare minimum. There were, back in the day, a lot of people who made their own precons. Now, mind you, they weren't that good, but they included stuff with these Blitz precons. Something like this resource counter. We're not asking for a lot. This is a piece of paper. This is a piece of cardboard. Now, there were 3 of them, but it's just cardboard. We don't need fancy metal tokens. People who can and want to afford them will get them. But you have access to so much paper, why not make use of it? This mini token, you could easily print the resource symbols on both sides of this mini token, and that would work as a resource counter. The armor trackers, the armor counters, should be included in every armory deck, regardless of whether that deck has Battle Worn or not. Give someone access to these tokens, which are pretty cheap to make, and at least they'll have something to start with. Obviously, we're not asking for dice or fancy plastic life counters or even sleeves. We just want stuff that works for the deck. I mean, look, this is a one-piece deck. Look at this. $35, already costs less than your armory deck. Now, mind you, one-piece starter decks probably don't play as well as armory decks, so I'll give the price difference that a bit. But do you know what's in here? Besides the deck, there are sleeves. There's a paper playmat. There are rules. Everything you need to literally play the game. I can open this box and be able to play the game with someone else without having to worry about asking questions or borrowing someone's resource tracker or ripping up the box that the product came in so I can make tokens for the game. So, what happened? We have to know why are you so scared to include stuff in the product? If it's a cost thing, I get it. Like, I don't know how it works being in New Zealand and shipping a game around the world. But there has to be a reason you guys are forgetting to do this. You have another year of Armory decks coming out. Armory deck Max Nitro is coming out, and that's going to be hype. Get it? Max the Hype Nitro. But it's not going to be that much hype if the Armory decks are always the same. If it's just going to be these support packages that help existing players more than new players. You don't have to throw a lot. Just throw paper at us. We'll be happy. A paper playmatch, a rule book, a resource tracker, armor tracker, anything important that you can print in a card, do it. These mini tokens exist for a reason. Use them to your advantage. Sure, you might have to pay a graphic designer or someone something so you don't have something cheap looking. But at this point, we're at a point where something cheap looking is more than what we're getting. So yeah, that's about it. Really, I want the Armory decks to succeed because they have been good for getting people in the CC. But you guys have to step your game up and give the new players something more than what they're getting. You can't rely on your player base to support every new player. You have to take the responsibility too. Anyways, I've been the Mad Mechanologist rambling about something that's probably not that important. But maybe it is to some of you. And I'm going to go work on something else and go to sleep. It's still a cool deck. I won't lie, it's a cool deck. The deck list is pretty nice, and I will play it unedited for a while. But I really do hope in the future Armory decks improve, like on a presentation level. The boxes are nice, but they're useless. And the more new players can get out of that without having to rely on the help of existing players, the better it is in the long run. And honestly, after Max Nitro, if Armory decks aren't going to change, I'm not going to buy it. There's no point. Or at least I'm going to hold off. We'll see.